don't know anything about property, and I didn't before this course. We've got, £700,000 worth of refurb, GDV of 2.3 million. I'm really proud of that. That's an incredible achievement in just a year to go from zero to owning over £2 million worth of property. So I'm really proud of myself. We invoiced them for 120,000 quid for 7 months SA. So I got my cash flow in 3 deals on rent to SA. So absolutely incredible numbers there. And it's about being happy with who you are and being proud of what you've achieved. Don't look at where you want to be in the gap, but live in the game. So I'm a big fan of that.
So, going to our next presenter, please put your hands together and help me welcome to the front of the room, James Wyatt.
Hiya, boss man. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Nice to be in front of my family, and what a year it's been. Incredible journey altogether. Really enjoyed it. So this is me. I'm James Wyatt. I'm on MM32. I live in the Northeast, and I am the founder of Soulful Stays, Soulful Living, and Soulful Commercial. I live with my wife and family, and I wanted to show you this slide because it is about the why, but there has always been 4 Fs that I've always focused on, and that's always been family, fun, fitness, and financial independence. So those are my my solid Fs that I look to. So you can see here that our son Jensen was born, and the very next day I picked up some keys to a commercial property. Now that's commitment, isn't it? So today's slides are going to be about something that are the 4 pillars for me, and that is my famous VENT acronym: Vision, Education, Networking, and Team. I'm going to show you my 8 Soulful Stay creations. These have all been since the Mastermind program. I'm going to give you the summary of the deals, my future deals, and best practice or hints and tips that I think would help all of us. And some of these I've got from my masterminders. So let's get into it with vision. Vision, clarity. What is it I want to do? What am I here to excel in? We all need to find our vision, our clarity. To be honest with you, I'm not keen on property. I'm not keen on property at all, Andrea. I needed something that I could take with me with property. So I decided to get into Soulful Stays, which is my passion, soulfulness, spiritualism. These are going to be high-end retreats where people can come and stay and feel more connected to themselves, to their family, or even to the universe, or even to God. So these are going to be amazing places. I went to see some high-end service accommodation, a Park Hotel. This is in Newcastle, just to see what the competition was doing. And as you'll see from the photographs, I think we took them on. So really important that we're educated in so many ways. And the first slide is me and the dog. About 13 months ago, all I did was listen to podcasts whilst walking the dog. And then I thought, right, I need to sort of start getting the motion going with property. So I bought a book by a guy called Simon Zutshi, and a nice big lump of citrine there, because I believe that crystals are very important. They give us energy, abundance, and growth. Then I decided to go on the accelerator, and that's the first time I met Simon Zutshi. And then I joined this unbelievable family that's in front of me now, and I can't tell you how much that's been a phenomenal growth for me. I mean, without you guys, I just wouldn't be here, so thank you very much for that. And then I can't believe in 12 months I've gone from podcast to being asked to be a PIN host, which is quite incredible. So I really would emphasize that networking is really important. This is a people business. We need to get out and meet people, talk to people, tell people what we do. I quite like that bit, so I found that quite easy. But however, when I went to my first networking event, which is in the middle there, I was so nervous. I just didn't know anything about property. I thought I'd be an idiot. I wouldn't be able to hold a conversation up. But how wrong I was. And as this journey has gone on, I became more and more educated and can hold a conversation with pretty much anybody. Menu manifesting. This is something that we talked about as a family early on. I think that if you go networking with an intention in your mind of what you want to talk about, and you stand up and you ask the audience, because you will generally get a pitch. You can stand up and say what you're after. So I actually stood up once and I said I was I hadn't really thought about it, so I just said, I'm here to buy portfolios. And in the break, somebody offered me a portfolio property. It was like, it's just crazy. Big advice, speak to the speakers. Get up the front, say hello to the speakers. These are some of the most amazing people that I've met. You've got Simon Zutshi, you've got Andy, you've got Dan Hill, you've got Adam, Josh, Gilm, and Chris Moss from Oversubscribed. Fantastic guy, lovely teeth. Now, the guy on the bottom is really interested in this because he has the Commercial Property Podcast. But of course, I've never seen his face, never knew him. And I was in Middlesbrough going to a networking event, and I was crossing the road, and there was a chap crossing with me, and I said to him, are you going to the networking event? And we started talking, and I was thinking, I know your voice. And I said to him, have you got a podcast? He said, yeah, I'm Jerry Alexander. And I was like, oh my God, I'm crossing the road with Jerry Alexander. So speak to the speakers because they tend to know the power team or the team of people that you would like to connect with. So after networking, it's really important that we build a team of people. Yeah, these are people that are going to help us with our goals, our visions, and to really leverage our business. So you've got my SaaS practitioner, Paul Stewart. He's the only SaaS practitioner that is helping HMRC out. I've got my principal contractor there. I've got my architect there. Now, the lady in the top middle, Jan, she has been such a help to me. She's Jananized all my properties, and since she's touched those properties and put that interior design in, we've been at 90% occupancy. She is an absolute dream of an interior designer. Graham, he's the guy that offered me the portfolio properties. He's currently doing a £2 million conversion in Bishop Auckland, really good friend of mine, and we have done some networking together. Richard Evans runs Vavavoom, amazing guy, definitely on my wavelength, very spiritual, love spending time with him. You've got Paul Million at the bottom there. He's up for HMO of the year. He's got over 80 properties. He's got lots and lots of experience in property. We are the same age, and we actually went on a road trip together. Okay, so I'd met him about a week. He texted me one day and said, do you fancy going on a road trip? And I was like, really? Well, we hardly know one another. So I literally had the phone here, and I said, darling, is it okay if I go with a strange man for a week that I've hardly met? And she went, that's okay, darling, you know, like they do, wives. So I went on a week's road trip with Paul, and I really learned that taking action is what this game is all about. Okay? In the middle there's one of my JV partners, and the guy on the end, Danny Torres, a good friend of mine, he sorts out my wills and trusts. So let's go through some case studies quite quickly. I have been quite busy. I'm definitely an action taker, and I've used the knowledge and the people in this room to get these things up and running. So this is my first proof of concept for Soulful Stays. It's very important that we get something off the ground, we get something moving so we can show investors. So this is a 4-story Victorian commercial to 4 flats conversion. So I bought that for, I think it was 145,000. We've got a little bit of work to do on it. It's all under permitted development, which you learn on this course. So this was taken yesterday, so we've finally got the top floor apartments being done. We've got some fancy tiles there. And again, Jan's been involved in this, so definitely who, not how. I don't know anything about design or kitchens or bathrooms. Jan's done all of this. So this is another property that I bought. This is Winnock Road. This is my famous one where I put my hand on the building and said, I like the feel of this. With no due diligence, bought the property. That needed full planning, actually, to convert to 3 apartments. And this is the inside. Really expensive, some of this stuff, so just be wary with your numbers. There's some stills in here. Some of these stills, I think that still and all the rest of it cost me over 40,000 quid, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of money. So you've got a lot of work going on there, but because it's in the south, the GDV backs it up. So now this property, this is a 1-bedroom flat that came from just telling people what you do, who you are and what you're trying to do. So this came up in Chelmsford, which is in Essex. It's quite a good area for capital growth, so I picked this up for an absolute song. I mean, you can't buy a flat in Chelmsford for less than 175, and I picked this up for 138. It wasn't very nice inside, so we Jananized it, and here we are. It's had full occupancy since I bought it. What an amazing job she's done there. So that's high, and that was a £38,000 refurb, that, which at the time seemed quite a lot. But once I started getting the occupancy, it definitely made sense. So Go for high end if you can. So this is my famous Dertona kitchens that I literally bought off a whim. I bought some kitchens and bathrooms inside. It was at auction. I asked if the property was for sale, and I put a bid in knowing I didn't have the money. And actually during the negotiations, I managed to find a tenant for the downstairs, and I showed them around before I owned it. So that's quite a good tip, actually. So if you do go around to your town centres and you see all this little small shops, might be worth asking them if any of them are thinking about moving up to bigger premises, and then you can be there to offer that. So that's what we did. A lot of strip out on this one. About 50 tons we pulled out of this, I'll be honest with you. This was a lot of stuff to come out, because it had been a kitchen showroom. It had literally just been adding and adding and adding. And we even found some windows that have been boarded up, and you can see there that the builder, Barry, you've got some windows boarded up there. So we really did open this one up. We've gone for a mixed use, so we've got a 10-year lease at the bottom, a CMO, so we're going to have serviced offices for the first half, and then we're going to go serviced accommodation at the back. This one's got 12 car parking spaces, and it's in town. This is a mega deal. So excited about this one. And here we are, only yesterday. You can see we've got all the offices in there. We've got all the fireboarding, and the plasterers are coming in. That should be open to rent for offices in about 5 weeks. Now, Soulful Stays, while I was going through the process of working out what I wanted to do with Soulful Stays, I got somebody offered me a property that was below market value because they wanted to move to Spain. So I went to view the property, and the upstairs was so big that I suddenly realised I could cook for people, I could do meditation, I could do yoga, all those lovely things that I like. So that's what we did. And I went and found myself a chef, and I found myself a yoga teacher and a Reiki healer. So you can actually buy these services as extras at Soulful Stays. It's the most expensive SA, and I wanted that on purpose. I wanted it to be the most expensive SA in Darlington, which I am. It's been open about 4 weeks. I've got a 10 out of 10 review there, and I've just had a booking for 10 days at full price. So this one's looking really, really good. Really excited about this. This is me. This is high-end Soulful Stays. If you stay in this accommodation, you just feel connected. It's lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, so cash flow, really important in this business. I'm full-time property, so it's all well and good doing projects, but you need some cash flow. Now, I decided back in January to get into rent-to-rent, and I teamed up with a guy who knew the area. So we got some contacts, we got some properties. We knew that Durham is a World Heritage Site. We knew it had international visitors. We know it would work. So we basically got 3 properties over 3 months, and they're pretty much vanilla buy-to-lets that no one wants. And then we Janinize it, and then we get these. This is all second-hand furniture. This is just clever interior design. This one is incredible. It just gets booked out week after week. Somebody actually booked it for a month, and we followed it up. We said to them, that's really kind of you to book it for a month. It's really nice. What do you like about the place? Just trying to build rapport with them and see if they would think about taking it on for a bit longer. Well, they actually said that we've moved to the area to do some selling, I think, and they're called Kraken Technologies. And I thought, I've seen Kraken Technologies somewhere before. It's actually advertised on the back of a Formula One car. So we said to them, well, thank you very much for staying. Obviously, if you need any more, let us know. And they said, well, actually, we're bringing up a whole team of people, and we'd like to take on not only this property for the next 7 months, but our other 2. Well, that alone was worth 120 grand. We invoiced them for 120,000 quid for 7 months SA. So I got my cash flow in 3 deals on rent to SA. So absolutely incredible numbers there. So this is my summary of deals. These are verified by a Lord. If you know your wealth dynamics, you know that me, a supporter, just doesn't do numbers. So this is, even I have to look at this and go, that's pretty good. Some really, really good numbers there. Cash flow at the bottom is monthly. So if you want to, I haven't done it yearly. Cash flow is monthly. The blue ones are JV partners. So I've got 3 JV partners, which is a really good idea. Gives you leverage, gives you expertise. The ROI on the Winnock Road and the Woodall, I bought those 2 cash. So if you was to refinance them, and you paid for the refurb, it would be 16 and 12. If I refinanced it all again, it'll be even better. So that's why they're in brackets there. I'm really proud of this. I've nearly spent £1 million. And I don't know anything about property, and I didn't before this course. We've got £700,000 worth of refurb, GDV of 2.3 million. I'm really proud of that. That's an incredible achievement in just a year to go from zero to owning over £2 million worth of property. So I'm really proud of myself. And I think that's what that gap in the gain is all about, isn't it? It's about being happy with who you are and being proud of what you've achieved. Don't look at where you want to be in the gap, but live in the game. So I'm a big fan of that. So future deals, we've got the one on the left. I've offered £500,000 on that. I don't have £500,000, but that's me. Really, really nice, actually. That's actually got my estate agent as the tenant. You can see your move there. It's just a crazy day when I went in there and put my feet on the table, because I could be the landlord. It was just crazy. And the property on the right, this isn't on the market. This is, I love the lion emblem. I'm a big fan of lions. I think if you come to my house, there's a big lion in my hallway. It gives me confidence before I go out the door, because we all like a bit of confidence. This is lovely. This is a 10-flat building right opposite my shop. I really want this property. I know who owns the property. It's not for sale, but I really, really want to go for that. But I will say this thing. I went to Project Magic Live last week, and the whole 10X thing has blown me out of the water. I mean, me and Dina have been working in the week at really pushing the boundaries, looking at bigger properties. Now, we're looking at, probably £3 or £4 million worth of properties next week or Wednesday. You've booked me into. And at Project Magic Live, somebody said they had a hotel for sale. So I said, well, send me the hotel. And they sent me the hotel. And I was like, that's £10 million. But here's the thing. It came back off market. I found out that I found someone that lives above one of the family members that owns that hotel. And I found out that there's pain. So if I go and have a conversation with those owners, then perhaps there's something I can help them with, where perhaps I could get my hand on a £10 million hotel. That's what 10X does to you. It makes you think the most impossible things. So very, very quickly, best practice. If I could share things with you guys, it would be raise your social media profile. I know you don't like social media, some of you. I know you wouldn't dream of doing a video, but I actually like seeing videos of you guys. There's been some cracking times. We've had a lot of fun with our videos. So get on social media. Environment, community, family. Surround yourselves with these kind of people. And it really does raise your game. Show and tell everybody what you do. This guy contacted me out of the blue, so I'd like to come and have a look at some of your properties. Turned up in a 458. So my son was loving it. And get out of your comfort zone. Do some stuff that you wouldn't usually do. Question a no that comes into your head straight away. This was a networking event where basically the owner said, does anybody want to stand up and talk about their profession? And I could see me standing up, and I thought, don't, just sit down, James. So I've stood up, and I've got this room full of solicitors and conveyancing people, and I'm just giving it the update on property. And it was just such a surreal thing. And again, remember, it's only a game. Have fun. Have fun. Remember your wins and set impossible goals. Thank you very much indeed. It's been a pleasure.
Let's hear for James.
Thank you.
Congratulations, James. Well done. Wow, truly inspiring. And that's over 23,000 a month profit. That's almost 290,000 pounds profit a year. I think that's probably one of our records. That's pretty amazing. And some of that's property James has bought, some of it's rent to rent, using it for high end. I love the fact that James has tapped into that. He's a bit of a shy person, as James, as you probably noticed, but he's really pushed his comfort zone. He speaks to everyone, he's very positive, and I think what you put out there probably comes back many times. So that's it for James. Thank you very much, James. Well done. Again, truly inspiring. Hey, it's Simon here. I do hope you've just enjoyed that video on YouTube. I hope you took lots of notes, and more importantly, you're going to take action. And what I'd encourage you to do is click on the link in the description below the video. I've got some live online training that's very relevant to the video you've just watched. Come and register for that training. Join me live online, and you can actually get your questions answered live as part of that training. So take the opportunity to come and join me live online, click on the link below and secure your spot before you miss the date. Take action right now. As ever, I encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. Enjoy the next video.